The meeting is being recorded now. Let me announce something. Next week, or actually starting this weekend, I will be spending a lot of time on some professional activity. As faculty, we are all supposed to contribute to the profession outside of teaching and research. So one of the things we have to do is service. So I am a member of an organization called ABET. Let me show you here. I mean, just as general knowledge, at least, I think it is useful knowledge. Let's see this one. I am a member of ABET. ABET is Accreditation Board for Engineering and Technology. It is the world's leading organization for accrediting engineering programs, applied science programs, and computer science programs or computing programs. Especially for engineering, it doesn't matter which institution it is. It could be MIT or Caltech or Carnegie Mellon, doesn't matter, University of Minnesota. If an engineering program is not accredited by ABET, then the graduates are not going to get jobs in the US. Every engineering program in the United States has to be accredited by ABET. There is no such requirement for computer science programs, but many get accredited because it is prestigious. So I am a commissioner with ABET. ABET has a commission called Computing Accreditation Commission, and I am a commissioner of the Computing Accreditation Commission. And I go every year leading a team meaning small, it's a small team usually. And we go to institutions and we look at computing programs and see whether they should be accredited by ABET. So that visit, this time it is a virtual visit because of COVID-19, and that happens, this starts this weekend and goes through next Wednesday. So I have meetings starting early in the morning at around 8 o'clock, lasting all the way till about 5 in the evening. So I will be available very little for any meetings that you might want to have with me. So, and I will be very tardy in responding to email messages. So don't expect anything very prompt from me for the starting this Saturday through next Wednesday. We will still have the class on Tuesday. In fact, that is the second thing I wanted to say. We have our second exam next Tuesday. So that is going to cover material that we covered since the first exam. So it'll cover materials we covered in lectures 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. That is including this week. And it includes, as you know, selection statements, while loops, for loops, and the associated topics like Boolean variables, Boolean conditions, and so on. And it will also include questions on the 2 readings that you had since exam 1, that is readings 4 and 5. So there will be multiple choice questions, true, false questions, etc., as well as some questions to develop Python code or pseudocode or both, plus tracing, etc. So I have uploaded a little document to D2L under exams. You will find that, and I ask you to take a look at it sometime in the next day or two and prepare yourself for the exam. Okay. Any questions on anything about the
Mr. Brahma, can you solve the assignment we had last week?
EFL about that?
The one with the numbers to words, words to
Okay.
numbers.
Okay. Let me. Yeah, I will try that. Okay. Hold on. If I can find it. Okay. Actually, I haven't posted this yet because I don't have any of the documentation. Give me a second. Okay. I haven't posted this. Let me erase some, or maybe I will delete it when there are a few lines that I had commented out. I need to delete that, but I will delete it when I show it to you. I will show you why that is there. Okay. Anyway, give me a second. Okay. So this is my solution to the problem. And these are lines that I commented out. I will tell you what they do, and then I will delete them. I'd read the number from the keyboard. And this piece of code that I commented out is for handling 3-digit numbers, numbers 1 through 999. So I'm going to, so that it doesn't really bother you, I'm going to delete this. If you want to see this again, I could undo my changes. So, okay. I have, as I explained in the video associated with this assignment, there are 3 sets of actions. Let's look at the last section. I think that is easier. Here, I'm assuming that the number is between 1 and 9. And I print 1 through 9 if the number is in that range. So if number equals 1, print 1. If number equals 2, print 2, etc. That is one set. The second set of statements is to print the 10 special cases where we have numbers between 10 and 19. If number equals 10, I print 10. If it is 11, I print 11, etc., etc. If number equals 19, print 19. Then I have a third set of statements where I print 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. This is for numbers more than or equal to 20. Okay, so that is the broad division of the statements. So if, let's see some tricks that you have to employ to get these connected. Once you get these 3 blocks, the rest is actually connecting these so that everything flows very easily. In fact, that is the skill that you have to develop while learning programming.
Could I ask something, Mr. Brahma?
Yes.
So on the assignment, I lost 4 points because on the section where it says utilization of selection statements.
Yes,
Why did I lose those 4 points there?
because you did not employ the selection statements in the way as the primary mechanism for solving the problem. See, one can take a shortcut and use lists, which we did not discuss, and I didn't expect that any of you would use lists because that is something that we didn't cover. The assignment was focused on selections, and the goal of the assignment was that you would learn to use the selection statements to solve problems.
So I should have used it way more, right?
It should have been the exclusive mechanism for solving this problem. Otherwise, there was no point to this assignment.
Yeah, you're right. Your problem looks way more simple than mine.
Yeah, I remember your solution. I mean, I'm not saying your solution is wrong or anything. It uses lists, but if we start using advanced ideas, then one will not learn the basics well. And utilizing the if statements, it is not just the syntax. That is something everyone must understand while learning problem solving. It is simply not the syntax that is important here. In fact, I know everybody in this class can write this piece of code. That is not the big issue, right? If number equals one, print one, etc., etc. But where the trick really comes in, where the logic really is difficult, is actually connecting these so that they flow properly. That requires a lot of practice, and if one doesn't utilize problems like this, then that thought process wouldn't occur naturally. you know Obviously this is not a problem that should be solved using if else, but I wanted a problem that that made you aware of the issues related in connecting different parts of a program appropriately. So let's go through this and see what we need to do. Printing 20 through 90 or printing 10 through 19 or printing 1 through 9, none of it is very difficult in itself. It is just writing a lot of statements. But the trick is to utilize this properly. For example, let's see the flow. If number is greater than or equal to 20, so we are ignoring all numbers between 1 and 19, I need to print 20, 30, 40 through 90. That is my plan. And then I will utilize the last block here to print the remaining part of it. I mean, if it was like 21, I would need to print that 1 after 20, right? That is the plan. But how do you ensure that this would be utilized after I print 20 through 90 or one of those statements? So let's see here. If number is greater than or equal to 20, I need to figure out the number of tens, and that I can obtain by dividing by 10. If I do the integer division by 10, this would be 2 through 9. So if tens is equal to 2, print 20, if it is equal to 3, print 30, etc. Now it is quite easy. Now, when I come here, I know that number is, it could be anything actually. It could be 1 through 99, right? But I already printed 20 through 90 if it were more than 19. Now I check these special cases. If it is equal to 10, print 10, etc., etc. All those, if it is 19, print 19. That is this part. Now, how do I take care of what is it that I haven't taken care of? I haven't taken care of numbers greater than 20, where there is 1 through 9 in the second digit, and also numbers 1 through 9. So I'm combining all those cases into one block here. If the number is not between 10 and 19, what I do is I take the number and find the remainder with 10. If the number is like 25, number would then be 5. So number percent 10 would divide this by, divide that 25 by 10 and give me the remainder of 5. On the other hand, if the number was 5 itself, then 5% 10 would again be 5. So this would give you that last digit. And this would apply no matter how you come here. This number would be the right value no matter how you get here. That is a trick that you will, that is, or rather, that is a technique. I don't want to call it a trick. That is a technique that you would employ many times in programming career. No matter how you get to some piece of code, you make sure that some variables are guaranteed to have certain values. They are sometimes called invariants. You know that number is going to be between 1 and 9 when you get here, and you can confidently print 1 through 9 and it would work correctly no matter how you came here, whether you did all these or not. It doesn't matter.
Mr. Brahma,
Yes.
so on the first section with the tens, okay,
Okay. Yeah.
what do you mean? What do you have with the end there? How do you write the end part?
The end.
Yeah, does Python recognize end?
Else or
End,
oh yeah, that is something I was going to talk about. Yeah. The problem is I printed 20, 30, 40, etc. And this student raised this issue last week. And I said, I didn't really care whether you, because this is not something that we talked about, but for the sake of completeness, I added it here. End equals something right here. What does it do? Print normally skips to the next line. And if you don't want print to skip to the next line, you write end equals, and then you can put um, a string here. So instead of skipping to the next line, print will print whatever you have here. And what will happen is if I have the number 25, I will print 20, and then it will print the space after that. And when I come here and continue printing, this 5 will be printed on the same line, and it will go to the next line. So that is what this end is for. And I said last week, even if you don't use this end, you will get full points if you put 20 on one line and 5 on the next line. I didn't really care about that. What I cared about was that you use if statements, elif, else, whatever applied the correct way, so that you learn to think in terms of connecting different blocks of code properly.
So if you put the number 25 there and it will read the tens, you will read the number 2 20, and then how does the 5 go there next to it? You have the
Okay,
space.
okay. Let's see what happens when you have 25. Number is 25, greater than or equal to 20. Tens would be 25 divided by 10, so tens would be 5. And it will not pass any of these conditions. It will find this to be true, and it will print, I'm sorry, tens is 2, right? I apologize, my mistake. Tens is equal to 2, it will print 20. It will not skip to the next line, And then all these elifs are not touched. Then it will check if number is equal to 10 or 11 or 12, etc., etc. None of it is true. So it will go to the else part, and number is still 25. So 25% 10 would give you 5. So a number would be 5. And these four conditions would all be false. And number is equal to 5. So it will print 5. So 20 will come, then a space, and then 5. Does that make sense?
It does, but I thought if the number was like bigger than 25, it would just like write 20 and then it would just stop. But yeah, it does make sense now.
If it is more than 25?
No, no, no. For example, if it was more than 20, right? The number 25 is more than 20. So I just thought it would write 20 and I was wondering where would you get the 5, but you did the modulo there, the mode.
Right, right. So this modulo works no matter what the value of number is. Even if it was 1 through 9 or greater than or equal to 20, it would work properly. One little thing that I could have added was, maybe I will add here, is else print, so that you skip to the next line. But that is not a huge issue.
Are you gonna upload this on D2L?
Yeah, I will upload that. I need to put some documentation, and I will do it hopefully sometime tomorrow. Yeah, I will definitely do that.
Sorry, I have a question about this assignment.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to put an if the number is more than 99, so it can print a message that you have to enter number 1 through 99. But when I did that, it printed the message, but also it printed some number that I put. So where I can put this print?
Yeah, you're asking how to tackle numbers
Then there are more than
outside of this
99.
range. One thing you can do is, I mean, what you want to do is, I don't like, you want to send a message saying, I don't like your input. I am not going
Yeah,
to put it
it's
right.
not correct. Yes.
Yeah, right. That you can do right here. If number is greater than or equal to 1, and number is less than or equal to 99, and then you do
I
all
think you
this.
have to do it the other way, less than 1.
Yeah, but I can do it this way too. I can do the whole thing, and then I could else print an invalid number.
Okay, yeah.
You can do it that way too. You can do it the way you suggested as well. But this is the first thing I
Yeah,
thought.
but when it printed the message afterward, it printed even 9, for example, or 2. I don't know why it did that.
I'm sorry. Could you say that?
So if, for example, I put the number 102, it
Mhm.
printed a message that the number is wrong, but also it printed the 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why it did that. For that, I wanted to ask.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I didn't really check what it would do, what it would have done if I had a number 102 here. If I mean, the previous version of the program.
Yeah,
If
I
number is
removed that.
greater than or equal to 20, then it will print the tens. It will compute the tens. And suppose I had the number as 300, then it will get tens as 30.
Yes.
So none of this will work. Then um, none of this will work. But then I will come here, number equals number percent 10, then it will print the last digit.
Yeah, it's printed like that, yeah.
Yeah, that is what it is going to do, right? Yeah. Yeah. I didn't really check for the validity of the number, obviously, here, but I will upload this version so that
Okay, thank you.
we can do. Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions? Yeah, sometimes it is not when you actually almost all the time, it is not the if statement or the while loop or the for loop itself is the real headache. It is actually setting up the logic to use those constructs properly. You know, here, for example, as I said, all of you know how to write this kind of code, but where you might need a bit more practice is connecting different blocks of code so that control flows properly. That is where you have to keep solving problems. And a problem like this is very good because you really have to think in terms of that. And if you look at the programming, what do you call the programming constructs, or they are not all that sophisticated. Dividing by 10, doing the remainder, nothing else. So it is actually the setting up of the flow which requires a lot of thought. And thinking is one of the big focuses of this course, computational thinking. You know, that is what makes programmers different. Any other questions? Okay, so tonight we are going to look
Mr.
at
Brahma, sorry, can you repeat one more time the end?
at the end. Okay.
So
Okay.
Python. Okay.
Why don't I do it with a simpler program? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let me go ahead and stop this share. Let me start with a simpler program that will be easier for you to understand. Give me 1 minute. Okay. Okay, I think I need to show you the desktop. All right, let's type in a simple program. Print something, a message. Another message. Okay. Obviously, I get like this, right? Print a message, another message, and they come on different lines. Suppose I wanted both of these to be on the same line. Then what you can do is end equals, maybe I'll put a bunch of stars. Okay, let's see what happens with this one. You see, it printed a message, this stuff. Then instead of skipping the line, it printed the 3 stars that I have between the quotes. So I printed star, 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 or Python printed star, 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 and continued another message on the same line, and then skipped to the next line.
So Python understands the word end, right?
Correct. It is one of the parameters to this is called a function, the print function, and these are parameters. So we are saying there is a parameter called end, and its value should be equal to such and such. Then Python knows, okay, it will check. Oh, end is equal to, this fellow has specified end. So I'm going to not skip to the next line, but instead print this out. Yes, this is known to the print function. Actually, you might or you might not touch this idea when we talk about functions in in 2-3 weeks. Yeah. Anything else?